Earth Network with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Yep, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, all podcast platforms. Yep, recent news coming out of Minneapolis. Once again, I was telling people what's to come, and sorry to say, I told you so. Another American citizen assassinated in the streets, whatever you want to call it, right? So I'm just going to read some of the information, the details, right? Minnesota shooting that has been dividing between the state federal officials. So I went through the story. I know about it a little bit right now as developments come. It was a couple ICE individuals that surrounded one individual, right? And there was a federal agent there, actually. A federal agent was there, right? So this is the story. Now, Alex Jeffrey, the latest. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an American citizen, was killed Saturday in another shooting. So they make sure you know it's American citizen in another shooting in Minneapolis involving a federal officers renewing the outcry over Trump's administration immigration operations. So there was probably some protests going on once again. Witness videos verified by CBC appear to show several officers taking a man to the ground before several shots were fired, and there's a federal agent was there. Federal officials said agents fired in self-defense after an armed struggle because the man had 9mm handgun. At the news conference Saturday, Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz slammed the Trump administration, right? Slammed the Trump administration. Slammed the Trump administration, right? So this is not good. This is not good. People are doing an outcry, right? Okay, so let me read it again, right? Slam the Trump administration. Witness videos verified. I got to read this over again. Witness videos verified by CBC appears to show several officers taking a man to the ground before several shots were fired. Federal officials said agents fired in self-defense after an armed struggle because the man had a 9mm. So it's a legal gun what the man had, right? But they're kind of nervous. It was a legal gun the man had, but they're probably nervous of this man having a gun where there's protests going on. So they probably thought he's gonna do something, but he had a legal gun, right? A 9mm handgun. At the news conference Saturday, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, which Trump doesn't like, Tim Walz slammed the Trump administration and its immigration enforcement campaign, saying it's inflaming tensions and creating chaos in the state. The shooting comes just over 2 weeks after an immigration and customs officer, ICE, officers fatally shot Renee Good in the same city, sparking widespread protests. So this doesn't look good, people. This really doesn't look good, right? So what we know about today's shooting, right? Updated photo shows Alex J. Pretty, who has been identified as a man fatally shot by federal officers in Minneapolis earlier today, right? Michael Pretty, right? He was a nurse, an ICU nurse, right? So this doesn't look good. Like I'm saying, civil war might happen in America down the line. A lot of protests are going all around America because of ICE. It doesn't look good. And ICE represents Donald Trump. The man described the city police chief as an American citizen with no criminal record. So this guy doesn't have any criminal record, right? Whew. Whoa. So the man has no criminal record beyond the odd traffic ticket. So this guy has a clean record. Was shot dead. Right? In the Whittier neighborhood. Is that for real? Is that a name for real? The Whittier neighborhood, just after 9 a.m. So in the morning time, local time. The family later identified the man as Alex Jeffrey Pretty. So that's his middle name, Jeffrey. So it's Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an intensive care unit nurse born in Illinois. So he was an intensive care nurse born in Illinois, and he has a license to carry a weapon, right? 9 millimeter. So you know, America, they're with the gun laws, and you could walk around in a lot of states with a legal, as long as you don't really have a criminal record, you could walk around with a legal gun to protect yourself. It's part of the Constitution, right? So let's see what else. Born in Illinois. So as they did after his death, Renee Nicole Good. So as they did after the death of Nicole Good on January 7th, local and federal officials disagreed on who should be blamed for the man's death. So a lot of shit is going on because this man has a clean record. A whole bunch of ICE agents, they were trying to apprehend him because they saw some type of weapon, right? But there was actually a federal agent. They're trying to help this federal agent. He was there, a federal agent, people, right? The Department of Homeland Security said its agents killed the man because he was carrying a 9 millimeter gun. So they got nervous. They got real nervous. They should be nervous because the uproar of a lot of American people, not just these undocumented citizens. So they got real nervous. So that shows you that they're kind of guilty of their actions because they're nervous. And because he had a 9 millimeter gun, right? That's why they shot the man. No lies, no lies. You're right. No lies. This is all facts. Unless they're going to try to make up something again, right? 9 millimeter handgun, and posted a photo online of what it said was the firearm in question. I remember they had a picture of this, right? And people posted it. But yo, Trump is kind of still defending the agents, right? He wasn't. You are lies, lies, lies. I'm just reading. I'm not saying this. This is the news, and the news doesn't have to be real. Some people may say it's fake news, so they say lies, 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 lies. That's what you say, S.C. Peterson. So it's lies. They made it up. This must be made up. The state governor said the presence of the federal agents in the Twin Cities, right, amounted to the what he said region amounted to an occupation that would only lead to more deaths should the Trump administration ignore repeated calls to withdraw. So this guy, Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an ICU nurse, he was in the streets. I think he may be protesting, but a federal agent with some of the ICE, they were trying to apprehend him. And in that struggle, he got shot. He got shot, right? So I don't know. I'm not telling. This is what the media is saying. So the media must be lying. C.S. Peterson, the media must be lying. This is not me. I could keep going. So they are lying about shooting a man. That's what you're saying. They're lying about this incident. This incident didn't happen. No one died in Minneapolis. It didn't happen. That's what I want to know. So where's the lies? The video appears to show the moment the man was shot. There's video of this too. There's actual video of this. So let's read. Two videos circulating online appear to show the moment Pretty was shot by immigration officers, right? The video was taken from different perspectives. Both show several ICE agents appearing to wrestle with the man to the ground as the man is on the ground. And he had a legal gun. He had a legal gun, right, on the ground. One shot is heard quickly, followed by several more as one officer appears to fire directly at the man multiple times. So there was a federal agent around. That's what they're saying, and ICE agents. So they're saying it was the federal agent struggling with Alex, and so the ICE was helping. And they show a video that someone's shooting somebody. So is that fake? Is that fake? I want to know. C.S. Peterson, you're saying I'm lying, but this is not me. These are not my words. I'm not making this up. right? I'm not making none of this stuff up. How could I be lying? In her, okay, so the Secretary of Homeland Security, in her own remarks, all right, Secretary of Homeland Security Christy Noem repeated the administration's belief that the man who was shot and killed was trying to kill a federal officer. So they're saying this guy was trying to kill a federal officer. In the defense for the government, they're saying Alex Jeffrey Preddy was trying to kill a federal officer. Is that true? That's the excuse for killing this man. Uh, I think they pepper sprayed him and stuff. I think they did, but they're saying he was trying to kill a federal agent officer. See, they're not joking anymore. This is not just for undocumented citizens. They're going after anybody who thinks they're going to protest against the ICE. So a lot of American citizens, be careful when you're out in the street and you're protesting and whatever you're doing against the American government right now, because they're hot right now. The agents are like on a mission, right? And they got Trump giving them the license to kill. That's what it sounds like, right? So let's see what they're saying. The administration's belief that the man was shot and killed because he was trying to kill a federal officer. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals to kill law enforcement. She said at a news conference the same phrase was used in Homeland Security earlier post on X. So they're accusing him of trying to kill a federal officer. That's what they're accusing him of. I didn't say this, right? They're accusing him of saying this. So, federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person in the city earlier today, setting off another. This is the same thing, right? Uh, 9 millimeter handgun photo online. Yep, yep. So that's all a lie, some individuals saying, but this is facts. This is facts. The scene has been volatile and emotional, the chief says. Yes, this is going to get really nasty right now because um, it's now the people against the government, right? It's the people against the government, and it doesn't look good. Minneapolis mayor. Now let's hear what the mayor has to say. The Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, speaking at another news conference this afternoon, said the city has canceled police officers' days off as response to the situation in the city. So they canceled the police. No, 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 no. Let me read that again. That's crazy. That's crazy. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, speaking at another news conference this afternoon, said the city has canceled police officers' days off as the response to this situation in the city. He said local law enforcement is getting support from the neighboring police agencies who have sent personnel to the area. So they're scared. They're really scared right now. That's what's going on. Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the city has established a vehicle exclusion zone to address volatile an emotional situation at the protest as officers tried to de escalate. He said protesters early in the day engaged in unlawful acts like putting up their own barricades, throwing objects at law enforcement. Damn, it's not helping. It's not helping. These protests is not helping anybody. So these protests is against the ICE deporting a lot of people. Trump earlier been saying that there's so much immigrants, or not immigrants, I should say, illegals they have deported from Minnesota. So there's a big population of them. They have deported uh, out of Minnesota to wherever they're from. And a lot of people are still in the streets protesting and throwing rocks and being unlawful. So this is not making it better. Now, it's sad that a man lost his life. But now in their defense, they're saying that this guy, he was asking for it. He was asking for it by coming to the protest with a 9 millimeter gun and saying his intentions was to unalive some federal officers. So this doesn't look good. And Trump, Mr. Donald Trump, he doesn't care, right? Donald Trump doesn't care. I'm just telling you people that. He does not care. Now, Minnesota organization registered nurse also issued a statement on Petty's death. Today, our nursing community is grieving. We have lost a fellow registered nurse to an act of violence connected to immigration enforcement. Regardless of where each of us stand on this issue surrounding this moment, the loss to a nurse, a caregiver, a colleague, a human being cuts us deeply. The statement reads. So now he didn't have a criminal record. He did not have a criminal record, and but he had a legal handgun, and he was at the protest. So if you are American citizen, right, and you're going to these protests, even if you're legally, you could carry a firearm, be really careful what you're doing. Because right now, ICE, they're very nervous. They're fighting a whole bunch of people in the streets who are protesting, throwing rocks, spitting at them, cursing at them. So these guys are real nervous right now. And they feel they got a license to do whatever they got to do. So Alex Jeffrey Pretty, it's sad that this happened to him. I've been seeing other people talk about it on social media. Charles Barkley, famous basketball player, he was talking about it. And, you know, a lot of people, they don't like what's going on right now in America. They don't like what's going on in America. And Mr. Trump right now is on the side of the ICE agents. He can't show that he is taking, I guess, the opposition side. They're saying they had a reason to kill this man in the streets. That's what they're saying. They said they had a reason to kill this man in the streets. He was going to kill or unalive a federal agent, right? So the lies, what Mr. C.S. Peterson is trying to say, I'm guessing you're a troll. Um, there is no lies. There's no lies what's going on. This is fact. This is real facts what's going on. Facts. There's no lies. So where is the lie, right? I just told you about Alex Jeffrey. Um, he was ICU nurse. Um, didn't have a record or anything. Doesn't have a record, but yeah, they got him. They got him real bad, and they're trying to make him into a villain. They're trying to make him into a villain. People, we don't know all the details yet. It's still unclear. There's video that people are going over. They're still going over the first murder, what happened to that the lady. Now this is the second one, so it's still unclear. People are talking about the video. People are taking sides, but so far the government is saying that he was trying to kill an agent, a federal agent. So I don't know what people think, but this is just going to create more problems, more uprising. People are going to try to, defend themselves more. They're not going to trust the law enforcement. They're not going to trust the government. Um, it's bad enough Donald Trump likes to talk a lot, but this is going to make revolution in America. Donald Trump is not showing any, sympathy for this guy. They're making it out that he was causing trouble. He was at the protest and he had a 9 millimeter gun. So that's what they're saying. This man had a 9 millimeter gun and he was going to use it on federal officers, and the federal officers defended themselves right. Right? So that's what's going on. The ICE, they don't care, man. The ICE is like really now villainized all over America. They're like the top villain. Federal agents in Minnesota shot and killed another person. That's what they're saying. Shot and killed another person in the city. That's all it takes. Now, how it's going to get more worse when the agents start getting killed themselves. Once ICE agents start feeling it themselves, when you start hearing that ICE agents are getting killed, now it's going to be crazy. I think that's what Trump wants, right? Undercoverly, he wants that to happen because he's on the side of ICE. So once an ICE agent gets unalive, how is it gonna be? Is he gonna do like this martial law that you're gonna have to be outside at a certain time? Because this guy seems like he was innocent. He doesn't have a criminal record, people. But Trump and the federal agents, they really saying they're defending themselves, that this guy came to the protest, right, with a 9 millimeter gun, and he was trying to kill federal agents. So Trump doesn't feel sorry for him, right? And there was a picture of a weapon, right? There was a picture of the weapon. So what do you think, people? So someone say I was lying earlier. This is news. I'm reading the real news. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, a ICU nurse, no criminal record, but he was down at the protest for the undocumented people that got are getting deported, right? So this is going to make a revolution in America. This, and you know what? Because it's white, I'm going to be straight up. It makes it even worse. And the other lady before, she was white, so there's a pattern. So all it takes now, the next thing what's going to be worse is what they're going to do when a federal agent gets killed. What's going to happen when the ICE start getting killed? Because they're saying the ICE in the fence, people are throwing rocks, people are doing all these things, putting up barricades and stuff, right? So this is crazy. It says federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person in the city earlier today, setting off another round of tense protests in the city over Trump's administration. Immigration operations has now left two people dead. The man described by the city police chief as an American citizen. So they're saying he's not an immigrant or anything like that. American citizen with no criminal record beyond the odd traffic ticket, only a traffic ticket, right? Was shot dead in Whittier neighborhood just after 9 a.m. in the morning time, local time. The family later identified the man as Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an intensive care unit nurse born in Illinois, as he did as they did after the death of Renee Nicole Good on January 7th. Local federal officers disagreed on who should be blamed for the man's death. So no one wants to take the blame. But I swear they're saying that this guy came there and he was going to kill federal officials. I wonder who is next. Yeah, you know who's next? I'm going to tell you. You want to know who's next? It's going to be ICE agents, maybe some federal agents too. The next is going to be ICE agents. I've been seeing um, American patriots online saying they're sick of this shit. They don't like what's going on, and they're going to start going out in the streets too. So you're going to have other gunmen, guys who are trained, right? A little bit more than Alex, they say he brought a 9 millimeter gun. They're going to go out and revolt against ICE. So what's going to happen when they start taking some lives, government agents' lives? Then what? Now they're going to say that, like, feel sorry now? So they're painting this guy as guilty, man, right? They're painting him as guilty. They said he didn't have a traffic ticket, but they're painting him as guilty, right? The Department of Homeland Security said its agents killed the man because he was carrying a 9 millimeter handgun and posted a photo online of what it said was a firearm in question. So he posted it online. That's what's wrong. No, you can't do that. See, that's kind of boastful. You're posting it online, but still the man lost his life. So he posted it online. That's what they're saying. They can make up anything nowadays, right? The firearm in question, local officials said the witness video contradicts the federal narrative, while the police chief said the victim had a firearm permit in the open carry state. So you're allowed to bring guns. You're allowed to bring guns in that state. I mean, carry a gun in that state, right? Damn. The state governor said the presence of the federal agents in the Twin Cities region amounted to the occupation would only lead to more deaths should Trump administration ignore repeated calls to withdraw. So they're saying they want the ICE to withdraw from the city. Withdraw from the city because it's going to get worse. Do you guys think so? Keep going, ICE. So you want ICE to keep going, MV3 3,380. You want them to keep going? Are you all right with them killing American citizens? I said this would happen a couple episodes ago. I'm saying, what are you gonna do when it's not just immigrants, or I mean, undocumented illegal people? What are you gonna do when it's American citizens, American-born people getting killed? Because that's who they're going after now, right? They don't know who is who. These agents. Some of them need training because they could get you, right? Who say keep going, ICE, they could get you. They'll stop anybody, right? So when they stop you and they question you and they want to know who you are, what you gonna do if they come for you? And then you start acting up. They might just shoot you too in the street. So this guy had a legal weapon in the state, open carry, whatever state. He had a legal gun. So any state they go to, if you have a gun, right? If you have a gun, they're going to be very nervous. If you have a gun, they're going to be very nervous, these ICE agents, because now they're going to feel that they're getting they might be next. They might be next. And I guarantee that's what's going to happen. When is the first ICE agent going to get assassinated? When will the first ICE agent get or killed? Because that's going to happen. I'm not waiting for it to happen, but you guys should expect it to happen. There's going to be somebody who goes out crazy. It's like they want to create an atmosphere and go after these ICE agents. And people who could carry guns. I heard it's a what open carry state, whatever, for guns. So now these ICE agents gonna be really nervous now. You killed two people unalive, a lady, and now this guy, Alex, right? He was a working man, I think a family man. He had a family. He looks pretty innocent, but looks could be anything. And he's about 37, American citizen. So all of you could get it. Any one of you could get it. It doesn't have to be no illegal immigrant. Now it's changing. The conversation is changing from illegal immigrants to American citizens. Don't you guys see this now? So if it keeps going on, it's going to get worse. And then, like the mayor said, they should withdraw because it's going to get worse. He's telling people it's going to get worse. Right now, it's getting worse. Every minute, every day, it's getting worse. So there's a war, an internal war, happening right now in America, an internal war. Let me just read something for you if you guys are not updated, because earlier somebody said I was lying. Am I lying about the story? This is the story, what they're saying. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an American citizen, was killed Saturday in another shooting in Minneapolis involving federal officers, renewing the outcry over Trump's administration immigration operations. So, if you're an American citizen, not saying you can't kind of support these people, stay out of it. Stay out of this shit. Stay out of the protest. Because so far I didn't see any Somalis getting killed. I don't see any of these people who are the Somalian people who are people are blaming for the $1 billion that were stolen, getting killed. It's Caucasian white people getting killed so far. Don't you see what's going on? Ice, ice, baby. So when ICE comes after you, Stephen Hangler, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Because this guy is not illegal. He's not illegal, people. He is American citizen who had a legal and he had a legal gun. So why taunt? Why fight? Why disrespect the ICE agents? You're right. I'm gonna tell. I'll be on like this. If they're protesting and you are an American citizen, you got to be careful. You shouldn't even be out there right now. You should really not really be protesting for the undocumented or the illegals. Just make the ICE do their job. It might sound bad, but make the ICE do their job because they're really going after the illegal people. Once you start to go out there, American citizens, and you're fighting in solidarity for these immigrants, it's just making these ICE, they don't know who's who, right? They're very nervous for their life themselves, and it's gonna happen. They're gonna get killed themselves. Oh, give my shit and be done in 10 minutes. Man, listen, let me tell you something. American citizens are at danger right now. American citizens are in big trouble right now if you go outside and you're trying to protest against ICE all around America. They have these protests going on. So, this is an example. I don't know if Trump, like I'm saying, well, he kind of supports this. Donald Trump supports this. So, this is an example to many people. If you go out there and you start supporting what Donald Trump is trying to what if you don't support what Donald Trump is trying to do, right? You're enemy of the state, right? Much respect, Michael Brenner. If you are supporting these protests and you're American citizen, you might be a victim. This guy was a working man, and they said he had a. They have a video, but the people are saying all types of stuff. Some people might say it's fake. They said he had a 9 millimeter handgun, a 9 millimeter handgun, right? He was there in the morning. They saying about after 9 a.m. around that local time. So he came out early for the protest. They're accusing him of trying to kill a federal agent. Now, in the video, what I saw, it was a couple ICE agents, and there was a federal agent, I think, trying to do an arrest. And I guess maybe they saw the gun and they stepped back through the struggle and some shots went off. And then he died. So this is very big. Two people unalived, two American citizens unalived because they're trying to protest and support the illegals in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It doesn't look good, people. Now for America, it's going to suffer because now this uproar, people are going to do this uproar and they're going to be against Trump. Now, I don't know if Trump cares, but a lot of people are really asking for Trump's head right now. I'm hearing there's a politician who wants to basically take him out. They want to take him out from being the president. They don't like it. So a lot of revolt is going to happen, a lot of revolt. It's happening right now. But what's next? Like somebody say, what's next? Is there going to be a other individual who gets killed? Are they going to wait for a other American citizen to get killed? Because so far, it's not been any immigrants or um, illegals. No illegals have been killed. Are they doing their job? Because no illegals have been killed. It's been American citizens, right? This guy lost his life because he went out to do protests. A lot of young women are not alive now. More people are at home in a warm houses saying, stay the course. You're right. You're right. So what do you mean? A lot of young women are not alive. No more people are now they're at home. They should stay at home. If you're American citizen, right? Born, stay out of this. Stay out of this. Don't go out there and protest. You're protesting against the American government. When you go out there and you're protesting against ICE or whatever, you're protesting against Trump deportation, you're fighting against the American government. So they're showing an example. They shouldn't, I'm not saying it's right for them to kill, but this is an example now. They're saying now, we don't care if who you are. If you're going to come out to any protest saying you're trying to threaten ICE, you will get unalived. They will take you out. They don't care who you are. This guy didn't have a record. He didn't even have a traffic ticket. He didn't even have a traffic ticket, but he had a legal gun, right? So they're giving you an example. Are you guys going to go out now? Like I'm talking to the people who support or protesting. I don't think so. Don't go out. Do not go out and protest against the ICE because now they're just showing you example what they could do, and they will do it. They will kill you, right? They will kill you, and you won't get no support. So even if people are trying to say it's not true, like some of the story is kind of not clear. This is what they're saying. Federal officials said agents fired in self-defense. So the agents fired in self-defense because, right? He said, federal officials said agents fired in self-defense after an armed struggle because the man had a 9mm handgun. Phew, you don't go to a peaceful protest with a gun. You're right. You don't, it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. It's supposed to be a peaceful protest. But he brought a gun with him. So how much people like, sorry, his life is gone. I'm sorry about that. But him bringing a gun in a situation right now, what's going on in America, did he think he was privileged? That's why I'm going to put it out there. Like the lady who drove the vehicle. Did he think because he doesn't have a record and he's not going to be really looked upon, right? Because I'm going to straight up saying this was a white young man, right? He doesn't have the stereotypical look what people, some officers might look on, and he feel that he could just carry this gun because it's an open carry, whatever state, carry this gun at this protest and nothing happened to him. Guess what? That's why in defense, the government is saying that he was trying to kill a federal agent, right? So how is this going to go? How is this court case going to go, right? They want to sue Donald Trump's administration right now. That's what I'm hearing. They want to sue him. It doesn't look good, people. I'm just saying, and this is fact, stay out of it. If you're an American citizen, stay out the streets. Stay out of the streets. This is really not your fight, too. This is not your fight. They're going after illegals. The ICE is trying to get all the illegals out of America, even if you don't like it. They're trying to get all the illegals so you look like a suspect if you're trying to defend, right? You say that now, but you didn't say that January 6th when they confiscated multiple guns from people who went into the Capitol. I see you got something to, yeah, Envy. You're kind of right there still. He was probably a good guy, but he didn't think out when he left his house to confront agents. Yes, he was a good guy, but he shouldn't leave out in this atmosphere, sorry to say, with a gun. It's like I'm going to be straight up. He probably felt he was privileged. Now let me put a situation out there, right? And this is America. A black man is not going to bring a gun, right? American black man is not going to bring a gun to this situation because he probably knows for a fact he's going to be targeted and for sure he's going to get killed. Let me say it again. An African American would not go to an event like this with a gun, even if it's licensed, right? Because he knows stereotypically in America what will happen to him. He will get unalived. But this guy, he got a legal gun. He has a good job, and he think no one's gonna look at him, and he wants to fight the good fight for the illegal immigrants, and he ended up getting shot. It's hard to be sympathetic about this man. No one deserves to get killed. But look at that situation. You went out in the streets and you're fighting against the government, especially Donald Trump. What did you think would happen? They would welcome you, right? Just because you leave your house with a gun, that doesn't mean that you're a threat to the society or agents that didn't prove that they decided to confront him and turn their attention towards him. Think of it. Let's be straight up, Envy. Envy. You're bringing a gun in a situation right now, a big situation, what's going on, and these guys are nervous right now. The ICE agents, that's why they wear the mask. Think of it. These guys wear the mask because they're scared. That's what it is. They're wearing the mask because they're scared. They don't want anybody knowing who they are because if they know who they are, their life might be endangered, which it still is endangered, right? He is American. He has the right. Yes, he has the right, but he's American mixing himself up with a protesting against the government for illegals. So how American is that in a lot of Americans' opinion? I guarantee a lot of Americans don't agree with that, right? Undocumented immigrants also have rights. If you're in the country, you get due process. Well, they're calling them illegals. You're saying they're illegal people. I don't know if a lot of people will agree with you, Envy. Like they're saying they're illegals. It doesn't help that they broke a story of billions of dollars being stolen from the American government and coming out of Minnesota, right? Minneapolis, protesting against illegal process. So, okay, protest. Let's be straight up, man. I know people are gonna bring all these names up and trying to defend this, but come on. You know that a lot of the people who they want to deport are Somalis, right? So the people who they blame for scamming the system, um, really, really, no one's really gonna. A lot of Americans are not gonna defend that, right? A lot of Americans are not going to defend that. A lot of Americans feel that they've been robbed of billions of dollars and it been hurting their economy. Let's be straight up. A lot of Americans feel that they've been robbed. So the next thing though, on the rebound now, what's going to I think is going to happen is a lot of ICE they might get killed. That's what's going to happen. Unalive themselves. So when that happens, you guys better be really scared now. That's why people are saying they should stop this, because if an ICE agent gets killed, which that might set an example, right? That they should stop the shit what they're doing, right? Maybe it might take that. I don't know. Maybe it might take that to happen. Maybe it might take an ICE agent to get unalive and killed so they calm down. But maybe it might be worse if an ICE agent gets killed. This might be an excuse for Donald Trump to have, like, shut down the cities and put some type of time that you could be outside. Mexicans, Venezuelans, Haitians, Somalians, stop lying to your listeners. I'm not lying. Isn't that who the illegals are? Isn't that who the illegals are? They're saying. Isn't that who Trump is saying been coming in the country illegal? Isn't that what he's been saying? If you're illegal, you're illegal. I don't care. I don't support people coming in any country that is not legit. Because there's people who have to pay their way to be legal in any country. They have to pay for that, right? So what about the white illegals? You are right. You are right. You are right. You see, yeah, it's kind of hypocrisy, because they can't really target white illegals only if they hear their accent. They could hide. They're the dangerous ones. I'm sorry if they're doing anything illegal. Those are the dangerous ones, right? So, Romeo 86. Now, do you support the ICE? I mean, you support who? Who do you support? The illegals? Do you support the illegals, Romeo? Okay, you must. You're right. There's a lot of Mexican ICE agents, but they're probably Mexican American? They're probably Mexican American. They're working. They're working legally in America. They're working, but they're wearing masks. Remember that. They're wearing masks, so you don't know. How do you know they're Mexican? Do you know their do you know their names and stuff? Because these guys are, like, masked up. Anybody saying their names? We really don't know. The law says due process. So, okay, they have due process, you're saying. They've been processing fast because Donald Trump's been deporting thousands of them already. He's been deporting thousands of them. I'm just saying, this is my thing. If you are an American citizen, right? A born American citizen, stay out of this shit. Stay out of it. I don't care about you could protest a whole bunch of other shit. I didn't see all these white Americans going to protest when a lot of black men were getting shot in the streets. I'm good. I'm just telling you that. I'm being honest. When a lot of these black men were getting shot in the streets in America, I didn't see all these white people going in the streets and protesting. You know why they didn't go out in the streets to protest? Because they know they would get killed too. But in this situation, they feel that they could do the protesting against these agents who are hot for the gun to shoot people. The law says don't disobey the law enforcement. I was us not too long ago. So yeah, You're disobeying the law. These guys are throwing rocks. They're spitting at these guys. They're all types of shit. You got cartels threatening, putting they're putting out bounties on these guys. So these guys are nervous. If they're already in the country, why don't you just turn them into citizens and make them immediately pay taxes? Immediately adds more money to the country. Because on the other side, what people are not looking at, there's people who come legally to the country. They pay to get into America. So that's not fair. So that means if they do that, what you're saying, Envy, give back the money to the people who have came from countries legally. You would have to give back all that money from all the people from Asia or Africa or the Caribbean who come to America, work, and they have to pay their way to be American. I heard it takes years for some people to become a citizen, but they have a visa. This is what's happening. Trump just canceled a whole bunch of visas, froze those visas, right? Saying because those visas are from people who've been scamming the American government for billions of dollars, right? Billions of dollars. So you support the illegals robbing the government, Romeo. You support it. If they're already in the country, yeah. So you support it. You support them robbing the American government for billions of dollars. These people. I don't support that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't support that. But what's not right, and it's making people emotional, that this young man, our 37-year-old Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, American citizen, was killed by a federal agent or the ICE. And it's going to make revolution. It's going to make civil war, which is happening now, right? His wife is one. So wait, his wife is one of what? What is his wife? He got the worst of the worst, and he came to our country. Who got the worst? He's a citizen. He's born. I think he's a born American. He's not an immigrant user. Elon's robbing us. You're saying Elon Musk. You're talking about Elon Musk. Elon is an immigrant too. Elon's an immigrant. He was not a born American. Elon's an immigrant. Trump's wife is an immigrant, but that's another story. That's another story. Right now, what I'm saying, if you're an American citizen, don't go out in the streets. Don't go out in the streets because I said this before. They're going to use now this as an excuse. The ICE. I'm going to tell you what the ICE is going to do. They're stopping everybody. So if you have a criminal record, just say you have a warrant for your arrest, you owe taxes or child support, and they stop you and they look you up, right? They might give you a pass, but this is an excuse for them to legally profile you. This is an excuse for them to legally profile you, right? So that's why I knew when it started with the illegals that it's going to continue to the other people. I knew it's going to continue to all Americans. They're going after all Americans. Really, they're just not telling you this. This is an example. They just shot two Americans, killed two born Americans. So if that's not convincing you enough, then what? Why pardon drug dealer? That's Trump. Uh, He's probably an informer. That's why Trump done that. He pardoned a drug dealer. They just caught one of the biggest drug dealers in the world, and he's a Canadian. If the worst of the words are coming into worst are coming into the country, it seems like he's helping out the worst of the worst by letting them out of jail. So you don't care about the worst of the worst. Well, he wants to create a situation. Trump obviously wants to create a situation to make a lot of people fight against each other. Um, he wants to create a situation that he could be the president for a long time. Because if there's civil unrest and it gets worse, right? He could just be the president forever, right? He could be the president forever. What do you think about that? All I'm going to say is that it's not the fight for Americans to go out and protest on behalf of these illegals. If you want to call it whatever you want to say, these are undocumented people, right? It's not their fight. Bree gets life. He doesn't want to be president any longer than the term. You're saying Trump doesn't want to be the president any longer than his term? He was just talking that he might want to be the president longer if he could. A black man supporting this? Mm-mm. That don't mean shit because a lot. Oh, you want to go on to that? A lot of FBA, Black Americans, they're not supporting any of this shit. They're not supporting the illegals. They want them out too. That's why it's really really bad. I seen online a lot of these Black Americans saying, "Yo, we're not supporting these guys because a lot of the Somalis said they're not black." I had an episode on that. A lot of Somalis for years been saying they're not black because they think they're better than African Americans. And there's a divide, if you guys don't know, in the black community with the blacks, black Americans, generational black Americans, people from the Caribbean and Africa. They call them tethers because they feel they just had this thing going on for years. I don't know if white people know about this, but a lot of them there's a lot of separation, and this is fact. Rome, what's his name? Meli, whatever your name is, dude, stop. It's true. Do you know what FBA is? Foundational Black Americans, a lot of them don't support this shit. And they kind of confuse it with the Black Panthers coming out the other day, saying the Black Panthers were trying to, the new Black Panthers were trying to defend a lot of the illegals. No, the Black Panther, another Black Panther guy came out and said, no, we're not part of that. We're not doing that. We're not really trying to defend the illegals. No, so there's separation when you bringing up the race black man and shit like that. No, look up the FBA. Look up FBA, Foundational Black Americans. So he's saying FBA are MAGA. Yes, that's why I said a lot of blacks voted for Trump. And a lot of people have the confusion, the illusion that blacks hate Trump. All of them hate Trump. That's a big illusion. The Black Panther died of cancer, bro. Who are you talking about? There's the new Black Panther Party. They've been quiet for years. They used to be on social media for a good long time. But this situation has brought them out of the shadows, has brought them out of the shadows. They used to have a lot of lectures online and stuff like that, really militant. So, but they are not supporting this really, even though it's been online. He could not even what MLK Day. You're talking about Trump. Trump saying he's talking a lot of shit right now. Trump's dealing with international situations, and now he's dealing with local situations, right? He's dealing with local situations or domestic situations. So, like I said, this is the second Unalive, right? Second, two individuals. And you know what? Years ago, I was saying this, what's going to happen to America? Because we've seen a lot of black individuals get assassinated in the streets by law enforcement. I'm saying when the time comes, this is when you're going to see a change or people uproar. When you see a white individuals start getting killed in the street by law enforcement, then it's going to get the most attention and the most emotion because that's not the usual. I knew this would happen years ago. I seen this coming years ago, right? And so the next thing what might happen, right? The next thing what might happen is the ICE agents getting unalived. And when they get killed, will they calm down? Do you think they're gonna stop doing what they're doing? When a couple ICE agents, if they get assassinated, do you think they're gonna stop what they're doing? No. What Trump's gonna do, he's gonna bring out the National Guard. That's what's gonna do happen. He don't respect your kind. Trump respects money. It's not the kind. He respects money. He doesn't care about your color, really. I don't think so. He respects dollars, right? Dollars. I'm not scared. I'm giving you reality. You probably are scared, Romeo. You're probably scared. And I don't know if you're black or white, but you should be scared some of you, and especially white people now, should be scared because they ain't just going after the stereotypical black man, what you would see on the media getting killed, and then they have all types of excuses saying that he resisted and that's why the law enforcement killed him. That's what they're doing right now. This story sounds similar to what they've been talking about for years, with black men getting apprehended by cops and saying that he had some type of weapon or something, but now it's a Caucasian man. That's what's going on. We need people that's not afraid to make change, right? Wonder what kind of criminal record he had. They said he had no criminal record. They said this guy, Alec, he didn't have any criminal record, right? Let me put you on timeout for your Robert BS. Time out for you 30 minutes, right? Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. But let me read this. Alex Jeffrey Preddy, 37, an American citizen, born, right? Killed Saturday in another shooting in Minneapolis, involving the federal officers renewing the outcry over Trump's administration, immigration operations. Witnesses of the video, verified by CBC, appeared to show several officers taking a man to the ground before several shots were fired. So, several shots were fired. He was taken to the ground, and they found this is what they're saying. Federal officers said agents fired in self defense after an armed struggle because the man had a 9mm gun. So, why were you resisting? Rest in peace, Alex. If you have a gun, and they don't know who you are. You're at this protest, you're at an event. Everybody is, pumped up. They're gonna You're gonna get something, man. You're not special. Self-defense, right? I'm not afraid. Jesus is coming soon. Alex was attacking them. Someone saying that Alex was attacking them. I don't know. They're saying that there was a struggle. The point is, there was a struggle. There was a struggle. That's what I'm saying. That's the main thing. What I'm saying. There was a struggle. You had a gun, right? Many black men has lost their lives for less than that in America. Less. So what makes this any different, right? He brought a gun to a protest, got in the middle of an arrest. He was grabbed to be detained, and then he struggled with the cops, and that's called resisting arrest. That's true. So what makes him special? The people who are defending, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He was resisting. People hate the ICE. I understand that. But he's resisting at a protest in that atmosphere that's volatile, and these ICE agents have a bad reputation already. What do you expect? Right? And he had his gun in his hand, and they showed it in the video. Damn. And I saw he had his gun in his hand, but if they disarmed him first, it was murder, and then they need to be dealt with. Did they disarm him first? They said it was a struggle, right? They said it was a struggle. Share your cousins with me. Okay, whatever. I love ICE. ICE didn't kill him. So there was a federal agent. A federal agent was in the mix. And I think this is how the story goes. He was trying to apprehend the person, right, Alex, and the agents came to help. And then he was kind of struggling with them, and they found this gun on him, and then they let off the shots. They backed away and let off shots. What you going to do? Black Americans need to be resting right now. You hear that? You hear that? That's from a black person. Black Americans need to be resting right now. The Border Patrol killed him. I love ICE, so do millions of Americans who are watching this play out. I'm sorry, it's true. This is facts. It may hurt, but a lot of Americans are saying, yo, the ICE is doing something. They're deporting a lot of these people who are illegal in the country. So you're not getting too much sympathy from born Americans or legal immigrants. You're not getting too much sympathy. This all started kind of with Minnesota with the daycare scam. And after that scam, they found more scams. And after that, they said billions of dollars were stolen from illegal people. So there's not too much people feel sorry for these people. And these protests, they're not helping. Can't people get it through their head? So it's bad that Alex lost his life. But any American should ask themselves, or they're looking on this, why were you there? It's hard to tell if they disarm him before they killed him because there are so many bodies in the way. And they could do a lot with video nowadays. I could actually say that. But why did he bring a gun? Was it not his gun? Was it a made up gun? Why did he bring a gun to this protest? Why? If he knows it's a peaceful protest, why it's your right to walk with a gun, whatever, in America, but bringing a gun did not help. And this is an example they're putting out there. Whoever thinks you're going to these protests with a weapon, they will eliminate you probably. You might put yourself, it's like a travel advisory, right? In other countries, they'll warn you about certain things before you come to the country, right? Second Amendment right. He could bring a gun. This is America. He could bring a gun. So you're playing with fire. If you go to another country, they might have a travel advisory that you're not supposed to do certain things when you're there, because if you're there, you might get hurt. No different than going to these protests. Maybe the government should put out a warning. If you go to these protests and the ICE agents are there, even if you have a legal gun, you might get the same results, right? If your constitutional right, he had a permit, you're a traitor. There are a view of guys walking away with a gun. Look for the Asmon Gold video, enhanced image. You need oh, Davidson. Okay, David, what am I saying? You support this, right? You support this, David? Mm-mm. No, you support that. These weirdos have entitlement. Shut the traitor's mouth. Second Amendment. I saw the Asman video. Listen, this is just the beginning, people. This is the beginning. So, how much more people have to die? How much more people have to die before, you know, they realize the ICE, you know, like the ICE is someone you don't play with? How much more people have to die? All these protesters going out there, right? What are you saying? Black Americans are loving people. Yes, Black Americans are loving people. Of course. Just keep shouting Second Amendment. You make no sense, troll. You're right. Black Americans are loving people. Yes. And there's a lot of good, loving white people too in America. And there's bad on both sides too. But my point is this: you're going out to a protest against the government. These are protests against the American government. And you have Donald Trump, the guy who's the captain of the ship. You have Donald Trump running the show. And you see how he talks. So don't go out. You can't pull a gun on a federal agent and expect to live. Of course. Of course. It's true. It's true what you're saying, Rusty Shack. It's true. You can't pull a weapon on a federal agent and expect to live. You're playing with fire, right? You're playing with fire. Who does that? Any police officer. You cannot do that. It could be any type of officer. You're going to have a gun. You're putting yourself at risk of dying, losing your life. He had the fucking gun in his hand. He had the gun. He had the effing gun in his hand. You're right. You're right, Rusty. No, he didn't. Yo, this sounds like the first situation of the girl dying, people going back and forth, and there's actually a video, right? ICE is going to do their job regardless of protesters. If he needs to bring in National Guard, he will. Yes, he will. He will. The guy on the ground who got, but damn, this going fast, man. This going fast. You guys going fast, but yeah, I could try to read some of it, but you're right. He's gonna bring the National Guard in. He's going to bring the National Guard in down the line. He wants that actually. I think this is setting the stage for the National Guard to come. I'll be honest. He never touched the gun. It was holstered. Okay. Mm. This will probably go to court. Maybe should go to court. Say what you want about me because I scare you. So, show the video. Yo, the video is gonna probably be doctored in certain types of ways, edited for you to see certain types of things. Right now online, I'm hearing they're taking it down and shit like that. So the phone was in the hand. Oh, listen, there's been guys who've been killed in the streets just for having phones in their hand, probably guaranteed. The point is, right, and what's gonna make it look bad for the agents is this guy had a legal gun, right? He had a legal firearm. So it says video appears to show fatal Minnesota shooting that has widening divide between state federal officials. So the government is divided. They're divided right now. The government. This is the beginning of a lot of things, people, for years to come. The government is divided. Trump doesn't even like the mayor of the city of Minneapolis or Minnesota, right? People want Trump they want to sue Trump. They want to sue the president, right? Because of all of this stuff. Now, how does this, like, you have to wonder, ask, what is this guy doing? What is Trump doing? He's doing something. This is kind of a distraction from what he's doing around the world. That's another story. This is a distraction, a big distraction to Americans, actually, what he's really doing. There's other bigger shit he's doing than just having the ice out in the streets, right? But like I'm saying, what is this protest for? Really? What is this protest really for? Who's it going to benefit, these protests? Who's it benefiting? It's on video. Never held the gun. Okay. They have and lost many times. This guy isn't even. Streamer won't show a clip because he knows it's dumb. Listen, man. Listen. You guys support this guy. There's a lot of people who support this man. Like, right? Like, who are like? I think a lot of people are confused because people are supporting the ICE, right? And then it's like you're caught in a situation because who the individual is, right? He's a legal gun carrier, American citizen, no criminal record, so he's all right. He's all right to do what he does, right? Let me time you out because you know what? If you say dumb shit on here, what I don't like, all I have to do is time you out and you won't even be seen anymore. Black Americans are always trying to save everyone. Yeah? To the most high be all glory. It's true. Yep. 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 This guy what maggot this let me block you out. You know, this is not like you have control. I have control of this right now. I have the control of this. And you don't need to be a fucking American to see reality. So what are you saying? Like I said, Mr. Trump is all over the place, all over the world and shit. And he's not even fucking from those places where he says he wants to go. So shut the hell up. Shut up. So why barking? Okay, here you are. You're watching though. I put you 30, right? You're watching, right? But like I said, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Now, for people who are not updated to the story, because some people don't read, some people might not watch the news, right? They might not watch the news at all. They might not take in information good. So I'm here for that, right? So let me read from the beginning. The latest, if you don't even know his name, because some people don't know his name, right? Which I show the clip right now. No, I'm not showing the clip. Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an American citizen, was killed Saturday. I already read that piece, right? Okay, this is his picture I have over here. You can't see it. Federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person in the city earlier today, setting off another round of tense protests in the city over Trump's administration immigration operation that has now left two dead. The man described by the city police chief is an American citizen with no criminal record beyond just an odd traffic ticket, was shot dead right in Whittier neighborhood. Listen to that name, Whittier neighborhood, just after 9 a.m. local time. Family later identified the man as Alex Jeffrey Pretty, 37, an intensive care unit nurse born in Illinois, as they did after the death of Renee Nicole Good on January 7th. Local federal officials disagreed who should be blamed for the man's death. So they're fighting on who should be blamed for the man's death, right? The Department of Homeland Security said its agents killed the man because he was carrying a 9mm gun, and he posted a photo online of what it said what it said was a firearm in question. So did they get his phone? That's my thing. Did they see his phone when they were like grappling with him? And they're saying, shit, this guy put shit online. It looks like he wants to do something to us. So let's pray for Trump. You want to pray for Trump? Yeah. After today, all ICE agents need body cams. You're right, to protect themselves, and maybe it will show the other side of the story. Good, Patrick. Finally, a sensible, comment. Yes, all ICE agents should have body cameras on them. I don't know why they don't. All the ICE agents should have body cameras on them so we could see what is really going on. They should. Police have them. Normal law enforcement have body cams. What makes the ICE agents special? They all should have body cams. Now, if you want to protest, this is what you protest for, American citizens. Protest for the ICE agents to wear a body camera on them. Please protest that. Fight the power all you want, but fight this way. Fight that the ICE agents must have a body camera on them. And if they don't have any body cam, right, they must withdraw everything. Take away ICE guns till they get proper training on body cams. Yes. Yes, but right now Trump wants to deport a lot of people. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they should get probably people in the military, right? People who are ex-military, who maybe are looking for work, maybe get certain law enforcement, maybe who are not like off their shift. They this could be an extra line of work for money, like people who are actually in law enforcement, people who are trained. Look for them. Like you know how they want to do drafting people. Start drafting people who were ex-military. Start doing that. People who are trained and stuff like that. Maybe people who are suspended too. I don't know. Yeah, keep up the good work, ICE. See, a lot of people support ICE. A lot of people do support ICE. 100%. They support ICE. But this is the second person to die from ICE. The second. So it's one, two. When it's going to change? Is it going to be three? Are we going to wait till three happens? Now, this is going to be interesting. Two of the individuals are Caucasian. Will it be a difference if it was a black man or black woman who get killed? Will we see a lot of people, like for example, in the comments, have excuses for the person who lost the life? Will we see the same? I'm waiting for that too. It's like how I was waiting for this situation to happen. I'm waiting to see the reaction. If people are going to say, oh, he has a criminal record, that's why he got killed, or he was on drugs, that's why he got killed and stuff. I'm waiting to see that. I don't want, no, I don't really don't want it to happen, but if that happens, we're going to really see how the system is, right? Because they say this guy had a clean record, he had a legal gun and everything with the clean record. He had a job and everything. So that makes it very emotional for people who fit that description. But now, if you have a other guy out there who he had a criminal record and he has a shady past, we might not see the same reaction from people. Leaders stop being chosen for wisdom and start being chosen for popularity. Rise people who tell the crowd they want to hear, not what is true. Love is the way. Or hopefully, but that's exactly what I'm saying, because when it was a couple situations of other people getting unalived by law enforcement, they were saying that these people had some type of record and they were dirty or something like that, and that's why law enforcement killed them. Right? Remember when Black Lives Matter was around? Do you remember when Black Lives Matter was around? No one was, not too much people sensitive for that. Not too much people. Don't you guys remember Black Lives Matter? Even though that was made up by the government and shit like that, right? They didn't bring the ICE agents out for them. No, they didn't bring the ICE agents out for them. But this is what I'm saying, and I know a lot of African Americans are saying, let's stay out of this shit. Let's stay out of this stuff because it's not for us. So why are a lot of Caucasian Americans going to protest in solidarity for these illegals, right? Why? Why? Do you support the billions of dollars being stolen from America? Do you support illegals in the country and people want to make all types of excuses? So what if I'm not American? Yeah, damn right. What does it have to do? That's a dumb comment. That's the most dumbest. You're embarrassing yourself talking. You're embarrassing yourself talking about that shit. The first target, the least protected, then the definition of the threat expands. They want Trump out that bad, right? A cap Jack, just saying that, I see that you are an ignorant person. You probably don't even like black people. You probably don't even like black people. I could read you from afar and shit like that, right? You probably don't even think black Americans are American. Yeah, you're probably one of those persons who tell all the black people should go back to Africa. Yeah, Cap Jack, right? No support for those who is doing bad. Once fear is installed, people consent to anything. Camps become necessary. Cruelty becomes security. Silence becomes patriots. So more things are going to come. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, people. So if he's not American, does that mean he doesn't have a voice? Respect, Patrick. So yeah, because I'm not American, right? Because I am Canadian, proud Canadian, right? I don't have a voice, right? So that's like saying the music you listen to, most of the rock music, what came out in America, are big in America, you should not be listening to it because they're not American. Rolling Stones is not American. I could do the list. They're not American. A whole bunch of artists you listen to. Drake is not American, but a lot of you love Drake. The Weeknd is not American, but you love The Weeknd. I could keep going. A lot of the actors you love are not American. So shut the fuck up about that. If you are from Canada, hey, you are American if you're from Canada. North American. We are North American, Canadian, right? So a lot of people you listen to, right, are not American. Look, Donald Trump's wife is not American. All his wives are not American. Elon Musk, you guys listen to, a lot of you, he's not American either. It keeps going. So shut up with that shit. You sound dumb and you're embarrassing yourself, right? And let's get back to the ICE situation, right? Fear shrinks the moral imagination. People stop asking if this is right or only ask what will be next. What will be next? I feel this is what's going to be next. If we ever see the agents get unalived some of these ICE agents. If we see them starting to get taken out, what's next to come, I'm going to honestly tell you guys what's next to come. They're going to shut it down. They're going to shut it down. You're going to see the military in a lot of cities, especially the cities that are protesting. They're going to really shut it down. I don't know if you heard Vance, the vice president, what he was saying a couple weeks ago. His plan is to have the ICE go to everybody's door, knock on the doors, and see who is American. And they're going to use the internet technology to find, to use, to track down who is American legally. He said they're going to be knocking on people's doors. JD Vance, knocking on people's doors, right? So evil really can't support evil. What do you think is evil? That's if people believe in God. So there's a lot of people who are atheists, so they don't believe in evil. They don't believe in evil. And there's people who do believe in God. So that's that's something else. Power mismanagement with wealth and decision making stay at the top. Somebody has to be blamed. Of course. Of course. And this is not going to go away. This is not going to go away. A woman Haitian said she can't support evil. So what were you saying that because the person is Haitian, they're evil? Come on, man. Come on right now. Come on right now, man. Right now, what's hurting people in America is the image of this individual and the lady who got unalived by the ICE agent. I believe that's the only reason it's a big, very big uproar because of who got assassinated or unalived in the streets. That's the only reason this is being amplified. On top of it, with Donald Trump and what he's doing, kicking out a lot of illegals out of Minneapolis and out of other states. That's why this is a big situation, right? You're saying the lady was obstructing. Whatever, man. You can't go out. I'm gonna say it one more time. If you're American citizen, if you are American citizen, do not go out to these protests. Do not go out to these protests if you're an American citizen because you're putting yourself at danger, right? And even right or wrong, they just are looking for, if you want to say trouble, right? They're going to be looking for a situation just to hurt you. So don't go out in the streets. It's like a purging what's going on. They're purging the streets of America. So what Trump is looking for is is illegals. He claims that's why he has the ICE out, to catch illegals. So you protesting at a big protest, right, against this situation, what Trump has put out, you're just a target. That's it. No, they're not looking just to hurt you. If you're out interfering, you are causing the problem. That's what they're saying in their defense. ICE is saying if you're out there protesting, throwing rocks, spitting, you're interfering in what they're doing. Exactly. They say ICE is killing. So you go out there and say, here I am really, who is stupid? Yeah, so if people say ICE is killing, right? Why are you going out there? Do you want trouble to come to you? Right? Even if these guys are wrong, like they're hungry, they're bloodthirsty. They wearing mask on their face, and the reason they wear a mask is to hide themselves. That's why they're wearing the mask. So when somebody wears the mask, they might feel that they're untouchable. Think of it. By them wearing a mask, they feel they're untouchable. That makes them even more deadly to use brutal force, right? That makes them feel that they're Superman. Divide and rule psychology. Poor citizens fight poor newcomers. Nobody looks up. The ancient empire playbook. Not new. Yep. I'm just saying, you don't put yourself in a situation, right? So even if people have the right to protest, it's just bringing, you go out there, you're bringing danger to yourself, especially with this administration. He doesn't give a damn. He's not playing by any rules, right? It's like by any means necessary for him. They they wear in the mask so these clowns don't try to mess with them when they're off duty. It's true. Now imagine if these guys don't wear any mask, right? And they're off duty. Is it safe for them? No, they'll be a target. They'll be a target. 100%. So that shows you if they're wearing a mask, they're going to be more aggressive. The reason they're wearing a mask is to protect themselves from what they're going to do to you. Now, normal officers don't wear a mask because they can't do as much as the ICE. So obviously, Donald Trump and the government of America is giving them more leeway to do certain things what normal officers shouldn't do, and is probably told to wear masks. Because I'm proud to be Black American for arresting. Because it does not affect me, I should not care. You are whatever. All I know that all I know that it's not a good time in America. It's not a good time in America. And this guy, people are going to be fighting over this situation about Alex Jeffrey Pretty. They're going to be fighting about this like they're fighting about that lady. They're going to be. This will not be forgotten. But the next thing people want to know, what's next? The next is an ICE agent getting being a victim. That's the next thing. An ICE agent being a victim, and when a ICE agent becomes a victim, that's that's gonna give Donald Trump an excuse to put out the soldiers in the streets. That's gonna give them a excuse. So this all happened because a lot of money was stolen. What Trump is claiming, a lot of money was stolen from Minnesota, Minneapolis. This all happened because of that. If he didn't track the money, if he wasn't going after the money, if he wasn't going after illegals, none of this would exist. But he wants to do that. From the first term, he warned people he wants to make the wall. From the first term, he warned people that he wants to make the wall for immigrants to lock them out, right? And then when what's his name again, Biden was in, Biden opened up the whole border to thousands of people to come in. And it wasn't just legit people. There was a lot of criminals from all around the world who was coming into America. So now you have someone like Trump who's been talking a long time before he's been a president against illegals. And now when he takes power in his first term, his mission is to um, take out illegals, like deport them all. He was saying this from his first term. So now the second term comes and he's putting down more, he's putting down the law. The second term comes and he's putting down the law, right? So the billions of dollars, that's a lot of money. I heard it's almost $400 billion or something. I don't know if it's true. How about don't attack the agents, film them, stay out their way, and any film footage you have could be used to prove your point. But if you act and are violent, your story no longer matters. That could be something. America was built by immigrants, forced and voluntary, enslaved Africans, Irish, Italians, Jews, Chinese, railroad workers, Caribbeans, and Latin Americans. But now they made a new system that you got to pay your way and go through the right way to become an American citizen. It takes a long time. What Trump is going after is people who came into the country illegally or they were temporary temporary people, right? Visas. Your visa is not permanent, so that's temporary. That's who he's going after. First year, he got 2 million people to self deport. They don't talk about how peaceful that is. That's true. They won't talk about the positive side of Trump. You're only going to hear about the negative side. Yeah. The first year, they said that people self deported themselves. 2 million. So right now, he gave them a timeline to what was it? January 21st for visas are going to be frozen. How much people went back to the country? I don't know. Much respect, Jim Warren. Respect, bro. Just yes, subscribe, people. Subscribe and support the network. Yeah. So there's a lot of people who probably left voluntarily because they don't want to get the ICE. They don't want the ICE to take them out in any type of way or be flown back by the ICE or the government of America. So some people might have went to other countries desperately seeking refuge. But like I'm saying, it doesn't hurt. What's bad, what pissed off Donald Trump and pissed off a lot of Americans is that you had these guys coming online mocking Americans and saying, yeah, we're stealing from you, go to work. I seen one individual saying, yeah, go to work, stupid Americans, go to work. Like he was just mocking the Americans, saying how he's stealing from the American government. So when this guy's on social media mocking Americans and saying that they're stupid and stuff like that, and it becomes viral, and you know that Donald Trump's he's a media guy also, that's not helping, right? They don't want permanent ban either. We shall see. So people were mocking the Americans in Minnesota. They were mocking them, making fun of Americans. So that didn't help. I thought it was like, and any millions are a lot. I thought it was like 20 million, 30 million. When I heard billions of dollars, that's crazy. That's crazy. Near $400 billion. And then one of the ladies who's, I think she's in the government, I forgot what her name is, but they said yeah, the Somalian lady, they said she has like 30 million in her bank account. How she get 30 million in her bank account? What type of job? And she married her brother. So that doesn't look good. It doesn't look good to Americans. That looks very like you marry your brother and now they're saying you have like millions in your bank account. How you get that money? So obviously that's why this whole situation's happening. And the ICE agents are gonna get paid. I'm wondering how much ICE agents get paid. Okay, that IQ stuff. This is the thing too, because a lot of people have been saying that the Somalis have a 67 IQ, all right? 67 IQ, which I don't believe that shit. If their IQ is so low, isn't it kind of embarrassing to the American government
that they outsmarted
them and stole near like hundreds of billions of dollars? So is it the system that weak in America that people with a small IQ, as they say, could steal billions of dollars? So imagine if you have a high IQ, right? A high IQ, what you could do. If you have a high IQ, man, you're stealing all the money in America.
That means whoever's managing the finances,
has
a low IQ.
Yeah, who's managing the finances? They must have a low IQ too, right? Oh, low IQ president. The only difference is he has people with high IQ working for him. Pirates are gonna pirate. Come on, come on. That's not an excuse. They don't have to be smart to scam. Really, you don't have to be smart to scam.
You got to be strategic, and that takes a little bit of intelligence.
You gotta have some type of intelligence to scam. Some type of intelligence, especially billions of dollars, man. It's not like they're going with a gun.
How many years has this been going on for?
This has been going on probably for like a lot. You're right. How much years has this been going on for? It must have been going on for like a long time. It must be going on. That's why all of this ICE stuff is going on. We were talking about Tim Walz. My 9-year-old could get over on him. Damn. So you're saying basically the politicians are dumb. A lot of them are dumb in that state of America. A lot of politicians they're very dumb. That's what you guys are saying, right?
What education does?
They're saying what education Trump has. Trump probably went to some top schools and stuff like that. He's not the smartest guy out there, but money, he might be really good with the money. He doesn't have to be intelligent in everything. He's a businessman, right? Why do you think all these politicians are about to go to jail for helping them? That's what Trump wants. Trump wants to lock up, I think, the mayor of the city. Trump wants to lock up a whole bunch of people. Trump is good with business. Yes. So there's people who they might not be smart in certain things, but he's probably smart in business, right? He's smart in business. I heard Trump talk before he was like president when he was younger, and you know what? He's an actor because he looked smarter when he was younger than right now. He seemed more smart when he was in his what?
He was quiet.
He was more quiet in his what? 30s, and now he's a loudmouth Trump, right? Anyone who bankrupt a casino is not good at business. Damn. Holy shit. You know what? You're right though. But I said it in the other episode. He's a gangster. He's a gangster president. He's a gangster businessman. And he doesn't work alone. That's true. Trump does not work alone. He doesn't work alone. Some of the biggest gangsters are not that. I mean, if you say school intelligent or some of the biggest gangsters are not that, but they know about money. They could read.
Oh, geez.
They know about money. He surrounds himself with a lot of intelligent people, right? So this is one thing I'm going to read. What was out there regarding the Unalive in Minneapolis, right? Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, speaking at another news conference this afternoon, said the city has canceled police officers' days off as they responded to the situation in the city. He said local law enforcement is getting support from neighboring police agencies who have sent personnel to the area. Police Chief Brian O'Hare said the city has established a vehicle exclusion zone to address volatile emotional situation at the protest as officers try to de-escalate. He said the protesters earlier in the day engaged in unlawful acts.
Oh.
So they're accusing the protesters early in the day for engaging in unlawful acts, right? So that made a lot of these ICE agents very, very volatile.
What's your definition of unlawful
like putting
acts?
up their own barricades, right? Throwing objects. You can't throw objects. You're asking for it. Throwing objects at law enforcement. He said the state, yes, law enforcement, state and local police use less lethal weapons as crowd control. Noted the scene has since become peaceful.
So ICE is,
yeah, it's become a different situation. So I think Trump just wants an excuse to bring out the National Guard. So once an ICE agent gets hurt, the National Guard will come out. The day one of those ICE agents get hurt, the National Guard is going to come out, and it's going to be different. They're going to put a curfew out that no one could be walking around.
So they're immigration and customs enforcement.
Yeah, they're immigration and customs enforcement, but now they're transforming into something else.
So they overpower police.
That's what it seems like. It seems like Trump is making them overpower police. But today what happened is there was a federal agent. You see the shooting, what happened to the guy? There was a federal agent with the ICE, and he was trying to make, I think, an arrest. He was involved in the tussle, a federal agent. So the ICE came to the federal agents, to help. And this guy was struggling with the ICE agents. They stepped back and shot him because he had a handgun with him. So,
but I have to watch that video again.
You could watch the video. Everybody's arguing.
They took the guy's own gun.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Well,
People are fighting about the video.
Well,
They're fighting about the video.
The video is what it is.
But this is my point: is why are you bringing a gun to the protest?
Protect himself, maybe.
To the protest?
Okay, so what's the law? The law for gun carrying in that state?
You can carry a gun.
It's open carry.
Open carry. But even if it's open carry, why are you coming to that situation knowing what ICE is doing already? They already killed somebody.
You know, there's people out there impersonating ICE, right?
There is people out there impersonating ICE.
Like, if I was over there, if we were allowed to have guns, I'm protecting myself.
There is probably.
I'm gonna have my.
What do you mean? There's people out there impersonating ICE.
There's people going up to randoms just say, "Come with us."
Yeah, like that might create a deadly situation.
So you gotta protect yourself.
That could, yeah. But you're going to the protest where you know there's a whole bunch of ICE. You know it's a atmosphere.
So this guy was going to the protest, or was he?
Yes, he was there.
Okay. I mean, we don't know the full story.
No. They're saying that we don't, but they're saying he was at the place where the protest was going on.
So you say you're coming out of the shop because I saw like stores there. What if he was just coming out of the shop?
What if he was coming out of the shop?
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, we don't
know the full story.
We don't know the full story.
But why did they target him? Why did they remember
because
this?
They're targeting everyone.
Everybody.
Every American is at risk.
Yes.
If they go to those protests.
Yes.
Or even go in the area. If you know there's a protest in the area,
That's what I'm saying.
Don't go around.
I'm saying if you know, if you know there's a protest and you're American, stay away from the protest. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm sorry, but I would arm myself, but they're not like.
No. But that's what I'm saying. If you know that there's this atmosphere, stay away from it. Just stay away.
I don't know, man. It's they took their rights away over there, man.
No, but
you guys gotta be careful.
There's a group who was dressed up in ICE gear that wasn't. He was blocking traffic. Now, yes, you do have other groups coming out, but there is other groups coming out doing all types of shit.
That's what I'm saying. You have to either stay away, or if you're going out there, are you willing to fight yourself?
Yeah, because Trump is basically saying that the people who are protesting are the people who are supporting these illegals.
Okay, where the police?
You hear what happened?
Where are the police?
Yeah, where's the police? Why are these ICE agents?
Or the military? If this is something that could be a potential.
Where's the police?
Where are the police?
This guy said that the police. Look what he said, man. Just listen. You're right. Where's the police? The real police, right? Minnesota Mayor Jacob Fry, speaking at another news conference this afternoon, said the city has canceled police officers' days off as they respond to the situation. What do you mean days off? So you're telling me the police took days off?
Oh, this is messy.
The police took days off for the ICE to be the law?
Oh boy.
Check that. They took days off.
This can't be real.
For the ICE for the ICE to be the law. That's crazy shit.
That's scary. I would not want my children around that, man.
No, that's the main point what I'm saying. That's the main point what I'm saying. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Don't be at these events where Donald Trump is telling the ICE any means necessary.
But that's the thing is now. Your freedom now, that's gone? That goes out the door?
It seems like your freedom is gone.
So
no. But you know what? Kind of is. But he's saying it's even worse if you're supporting the illegal immigrants. They don't respect that.
After they do this to the legal immigrants, who do you think they're going
to? Yeah, they're going after normal American citizens.
Everybody.
Yes, National Guard is rolling in. Someone said National Guard is rolling in. National Guard. I cannot conduct police activities. Right? National Guard is rolling in. That's what's coming next. He wants that. Trump wants National Guard to roll in. I hope you know people.
Got your
he wants National Guard to roll in.
Worse than a damn zombie apocalypse, man.
Yeah.
Worse than walking.
Yeah. Because listen, someone said, "What's next?" What do you feel is next right now? Remember,
martial law.
Martial law. I'm gonna be straight up. A lot of big events started from little things, like I'm not saying this is little, but like the lady who passed away, who got killed, right? And then this guy got killed, right? What did I say a long time ago? Because we've seen police brutality a lot in America, and a lot of cases, nothing happened, and they were black people. What did we say was going to happen and make a big uproar and a big story one day? All it takes. What did we ever say? We said, when a Caucasian person gets killed in the streets by law enforcement and it's in the media, especially now, it's gonna. This is what happening now.
So it's a well thought out plan.
Yes, and Trump
cause chaos.
To cause chaos. Yeah. It's a well thought out plan to cause chaos because when when Black Lives Matter, the reason Black Lives Matter was around because, which what happened with that was the outcry from the black community that the police officers were targeting black people and killing them in the street, right?
Which was on who?
Whatever whoever owned that was the government who kind of cooked that up. Black Lives Matter, but the whole point is that you've seen what happened there, right? That wasn't really taken seriously because guess what? Who got off? Even in other stories, what's the name? Trayvon Martin situation, Zimmerman, right? He's free, right? There was a other situation. I forgot a other story. He's free. That guy's free, right? No one was really fighting for those people who lost their lives. Those people who lost their lives was looked on as the agitator. Even Trayvon Martin, who was he had Skittles or some shit. They're looking on as, oh, they were bad some way. That's why they got killed. But these ones now,
blood sacrifices.
Yeah, these ones though are looked on as, like, for example, Alex. He's a law-abiding citizen. He doesn't have a record, clean record. He had a gun license and stuff, so that's all right. He's not under any radar and stuff. They're saying they saw the gun on a post. That's what the ICE is saying. You remember they could check your phone now, right? They could check your phone. So that's what it said. They seen he was coming there to harm law enforcement. That's what they're saying. Jacob R. How does it feel to know that Trump called his supporters stupid? Well, yeah, he did that. Well, at least he wasn't wrong about the supporters. Trump is not sending National Guard at this time. Yes, not now. Governor sending National Guard in. Whoa, that's probably breaking news. What do I feel is next? Hopefully, more law enforcement. Marshall Trump said that 1998, bro, okay, draft dodgers. People are calling them a draft dodger. Yeah, people been calling Trump a draft dodger from Vietnam War. I don't think he gives a damn. I don't think Trump gives a damn that he's a draft dodger. I'm 75. I support the government for 50 years. It's their turn to support me. Okay. Broken history. Antonio speaks really goes over the point about how Afro Americans are expecting us to be on the front lines against tyranny. African Americans, I don't see too much of them talking, especially the celebrities. For 100%, I don't see too much of them talking, and it's because they're scared. They're scared, or if not scared, they feel it's not their fight, right? Chief police asking for National Guard due to the police in his town is understaffed. Oh, Zimmerman is a flat broke and he's homeless now. I heard that. So he didn't get away. Well, he didn't get any real big prison time. He didn't really get no prison time, really, right? So he's homeless now, Zimmerman. I'm hearing because probably got blacklisted for even work and stuff like that. The guy in Minnesota though, right? It wasn't Minnesota, Milwaukee, right? When there was protests going on, and this guy, I think the police came out or something, and he shot a couple people. He got off. I forgot his name, right? He got off. The main thing is don't go out in this atmosphere right now.
What about that? Remember that story you told me about? The guy, I think it was Detroit. I'm not sure. The black cop.
The black cop. Oh, the black cop in.
Yeah, he went like they should have made a documentary.
Are you talking about the black cop from L.A.? right? Who went
Yeah, and
rogue.
he went rogue.
And he was trying to uncover corruption in the LA police department. A lot of people know about that shit, man. A lot of people know that the police department in LA's been corrupt for years and shit like that, right? The Neanderthal MAGA God sent ICE and the Trump Stein. Nah, it's not. Nah, it's not. Don't go out. Just don't go follow ICE agents for hours. Yes, stay away from those guys. Like I said, they wear masks for a reason. They wear a mask for a reason. And think of it, if you wear a mask, right, and you're allowed to legally, right? You legally could wear a mask and the government gives you a weapon, like a gun.
All pass for
Aren't you gonna feel, you will feel like you're Superman out there. You're gonna feel like you could do anything because you have this thing covering your face and you have a weapon, and there's some guys who are sick who sign up for the job. You know that, eh? Same thing with the military. There's some people who just want blood. So if you know that, why put yourself out there in the atmosphere? It's bad that this guy lost his life. But I guarantee it's not just me saying this, it's not just other people saying this. They're gonna say, why did he go out? So they're gonna say now, this is his, who's been identified. Let's read. Federal agents killed another person. So this is the story what you're gonna see everywhere. Federal agents in Minneapolis shot and killed another person in the city earlier today, setting off another round of tense protests. So, big protests are going to be everywhere now in America.
More people are going to get shot.
More people are going to get shot. And if they shoot an ICE agent, I think this is causing people to get more angry. They know what's going on. And then they will respond maybe and shoot ICE agents. And if an ICE agent gets killed, then Mr. Trump is going to bring out the National Guard, right? That's what's going to happen. What do you think? If an ICE agent gets killed, what do you think's next?
That's what he wants. He wants to sacrifice one of those guys.
Yeah, one of those guys. An ICE agent.
Have a reason to stay in this person.
Yeah. So ICE agent gets killed. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be better if an ICE agent gets killed? It's going to be worse because you know what's going to happen if an ICE agent gets killed? They're going to be more deadly now. If they're still out there, they're going to be.
Yeah, but like, Americans are going to get fed up too.
Yeah, Americans are getting fed up, but it's going to be like if I'm.
What's the name of those guys that you said are going to come up? The Patriots or something? Like
the Patriots. That's what's going on. A lot of American patriots are saying they're sick of this. They don't support the ICE, and they were willing to protect American citizens from the ICE. So now, what is that? You're going to have American patriots, right? Feel to protect America by getting rid or trying to defend the people and maybe
what's that called?
Eliminate the ICE. And what's that called? Civil war. A civil war, right? What's the dirt? What are you saying? Shit is crazy, bro. Yes. And it's sad. My fellow Canadian, what's the dirt? Big content maker, right? This is controversial, man. People are going back and forth. What's the dirt? Let me tell you, I've been covering this for a couple of days now. But this situation is going to make a lot of people start to arm themselves more.
They should.
They're going to arm themselves more. The people who weren't armed before, they might think that it's reverse psychology, but it's going to be worse because this guy had a licensed gun, right? And they're saying even if you have a licensed gun, if you go out there and thinking that you're going to try to test the ICE, they will get rid of you too. I'm glad we live here, bro. Yes, I'm glad too.
So no
what's the dirt? I'm glad too. What's the dirt? But yo, in Canada itself, they have this thing called what's it called again? Canada First. And these guys want to do something similar too. What's the dirt?
Proud Boys or
no. Canada First. These guys are like loyal to. They like what Trump is doing in America, right? They want immigrants to be deported and all types of shit too. They really stand by what Donald Trump is doing. I wonder if they support what ICE is doing right now. That's what I want to know. But much respect. What's the dirt? Yeah, man. I am American. I love how God's speaking to America right now, and yet no repentance. Yeah, yeah. Whew. Yeah, you're damn right. If I'm doing an awful job covering it, it's because I'm exposing it, right? Exposing it where a lot of people in America can't talk. Because if you talk,
You get in trouble.
you get in trouble. They are probably from Alberta if they like Trump. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. You're right. So right now, Trump is so sensitive about anybody talking about him that he will probably, if you have a job, you might lose your job.
Mark Ruffalo.
Right?
Yes.
What? Mark Ruffalo?
Yep.
Yeah, he
The
spoke.
Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk guy. He spoke against Trump, and guess what happened? He lost his what job for what Marvel, or did he fire him, or Disney? He got fired. He got fired for talking. Now there's a other movie star who was famous for disrespecting Trump. Um, he worked. He done a lot of those mafia movies.
Who? Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. He was disrespecting Trump a lot. I don't hear him talking anymore. I don't hear him talking anymore. Let me not lock you out, man. I don't hear him talking anymore.
What was he saying? What was he saying?
Right?
What was he saying?
So I don't know what he's saying. I don't listen. I don't look at dummies. That's how so crazy, man. I feel like the states are going to start protesting. They're protesting already. What's the dirt? But this is what I was saying. What's the dirt? Is that this is what I'm saying is what is going on in America is not making it better. Trump's not making it better right now. He's not making anything better right now by having the ICE go out there with a license to kill. It's just making more trouble. And then on top of it, he's going around the world and saying he's threatening other countries and saying he wants to take them over, and he's bullying everybody on top of what's going on with deporting a whole bunch of people out of America. And now he has killed a citizen, two citizens. No, he's been chasing mass havoc. Yes, what's there? You're right. He's terrible. Yes, he is terrible. My fellow Canadian in here, what's the big content maker? Yes, yes, he is terrible. I agree. He is terrible. But he's a lot of Americans love him. What's the a lot of them they love Trump. A lot of them believe that ICE is doing the right thing. A lot of them love him. So, you know, it's hard. We're just watching and eating our popcorn. Some dummies feel, not all of them are dummies, they feel that if you are not from America, you don't know anything. America is the biggest show in the world. Everybody sees what's going on. We see their politics. Everybody sees it, but they don't know what's going on over here because they are racist, bro. Yeah, yeah. Not here in NYC. Canadians just mad their own country is falling while we fix ours. I don't think we're not falling, man.
We're
I don't
managing.
know. I don't know where these people get it from. We're not falling. It's
Tell
you.
us. Tell us.
Tell us what's falling. Tell us. Since I always hear people talk about our country's falling. Where's falling? Because I have a whole list what's going on in America. What's falling? Besides just putting that comment up, what's falling? Tell me what is falling, what is failing in Canada. Like, who's suffering so much in Canada? We're not getting shot in the streets by any authorities. We're not getting shot in the streets by authorities. Your jails are crowded down there. You have like in Chicago, you have like a big what 400 murders a year or more a year. What problems?
Weed is legal.
What's problems do we have? We
Not
don't
getting
have
arrested for it.
50% off the country hating on the other 50%. That's true. We don't have that. So I want to know. People could throw that out there, but they can't tell us what's the problems. But I could tell you the problems with America, and I could tell you Americans who will say what the problems are. Tons. There's always Americans complaining about their country themselves. Forget us. Let me say it again. There's a lot of Americans that complain about their own country, right? Remember civil rights? Don't you guys remember black people had to fight for their rights up until like 1960 something, right? Mm, I gotta go. Much respect, what's the dirt? We'll catch up soon. Yes. So Tell me about Canada. Where's the problems? The person who was talking. I want to know what you know about Canada. I'm waiting. Where's the problems? Because I could tell you the problems in America, and it's a lot of separation still. There's people getting killed in like crazy. There's a war in the streets in America. Like I said, Chicago, there's like hundreds of people get murdered every year in the streets. It's crazy. You know that. New Orleans, Detroit, the list goes on, right? So tell me the problems with Canada. And I know in New York, I heard the statistics for HIV is like 30 to 40,000, if not more, people have HIV. So tell me the problems. I want to know. I want to know. See, they don't know nothing. They only saying, talking shit. No one knows nothing. There's only some people who have some knowledge about Canada. You can't say nothing because you know it's facts what I'm saying. Is a grifter. You know about What's the Dirt? Yeah, but much respect to What's the Dirt. So cross-eyed. Yes, I'm crossed. Let me knock you out. Do you realize I control this live? Do you realize that when you say dumb shit, I could just control that whole shit? I control everything. He has lied to many times about Kendrick. Oh, now you want to talk about the Kendrick and the Drake shit? That's another thing what happened. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that Kendrick.
Those people making their money.
Those guys are multimillionaires. Multimillionaires. That's not changing. That's not anything really important. The whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar stuff. But respect to What's the Dirt. Respect to What's the Dirt. I support What's the Dirt. He's a great content maker from Canada. Once from Canada, and Drake is from Canada too. Yes, which you all love too. A lot of you, right? So back to this story. Like I was saying, ICE, stay out of their way if you're an American citizen. And then you won't have these situations coming up again. Stop going to the protests where these guys are doing, protesting against Trump's administration because Trump doesn't want none of that shit, right? Bro got canceled by his own audience. He did. I'm not talking about What's the Dirt right now. What's the Dirt? He has a big following. He has a whole bunch of support, right? He's doing good right now. I'm gonna probably have him on an episode talking about some stuff in the near future. You could tune in, Gaba. I'm gonna definitely have him on, right? But when we talk about that music stuff with the Drake situation, and people, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I know a lot of Americans are scared right now because ICE is coming for everybody, right? ICE is coming for everybody. Being a legal observer is not legal grounds for being executed. Uh, let's read that again. Being a legal observer is not legal grounds for being executed. Well, people had less than this guy, less than a gun in their hand, and they've been executed in the streets. Many black men had just a cell phone in their hand and they got executed in the streets, right? Right?
Yeah.
Haven't correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Real conservation would mean conserving life, conserving balance, conserving dignity, conserving truth, but that would threaten the system. No one should be executed. Was he executed?
Yeah.
He was executed, you feel?
Yes, sir.
So you saw the video.
Yep.
So he's executed. So now basically
he was resisting, but
he was resisting, right?
Yeah, but still, like there was like maybe 6 guys or something like that on him, and they pulled another lady away. Like I think he was trying to actually help another bystander or friend.
Yeah.
And they like shoved her on the ground, and then they went after him. Watch the video.
You know what though?
So we don't know.
With law enforcement, besides this guy, I seen some crazy stuff and stories about how like some of these officers, and they're not even ICE, how aggressive some of the police officers in America are. Like, they will, they're very really ready to do anything. So imagine ICE with the mask, right? I seen videos of police officers, right, pulling over other police officers because they didn't know that they're a police officer because they were black, right? You seen those videos, right?
Mhm.
And yo, this is America. It's crazy shit. Yeah, the lady got pushed to the ground. She heard you. Yes, the lady got pushed to the ground. How do we know they're law enforcement if they don't identify? That's true. It's
Exactly.
creating a bad situation. Yeah, I'll agree. If they're wearing a mask, right, it creates a situation. But then it creates a situation that they're feeling that they must protect themselves, their identity, because of the what's going on, right?
So do police get to um cover themselves? No.
No, the police don't get to cover themselves, but these guys are doing dirty work.
Yeah. So
Obviously, you have to look at it. If they're wearing a mask, they're hired to do a lot of dirty work, right? They're not doing the normal stuff that law enforcement will be doing. They're doing dirty work for Trump. They're doing dirty work for America. And what they're doing is cleaning up, they feel they're cleaning up the cities of illegals. Remember, they're going after a lot of the people in Minnesota, but they were going after people who are involved with cartels before. You have to remember, originally they were going after a lot of cartels. And if you're going to go after cartels, you don't want cartels to know who you are. You get what I mean? They'll come right back for you, probably eliminate you. No one is rioting against police officers and sheriffs. Has that never happened before? Right? They aren't even legally allowed to wear masks. But the ICE? You sure the ICE ain't legal to wear that? Remember now, let's play devil's advocate. If they were going after first, the original, before these people in Minnesota, they're going after a lot of people who are like what's called part of the cartels. So, and the cartels are putting bounties on these guys. That's the news. They're putting bounties on ICE agents. And have you heard about that? The cartels are putting bounties on ICE
mm,
agents' heads. So, if you don't play with cartels. You do not play with the cartels. If they know who you are, they're gonna get rid of you. They'll kill your family, these cartels. So that's in defense of them. That's why they're wearing these masks. Because originally they're going after a lot of cartels. Trump's saving America. See, you got a lot of Trump supporters on here. I see a lot of Trump supporters on here. Is Trump really saving America? The only thing what I like about Trump is he's honest what he's gonna do. He's at least telling you what he's gonna do. He's not lying about what he's gonna do. Oh well, he is lying sometimes actually, but at least he's telling you what he's gonna do. So that's why I'm not surprised in all of the shit what he's doing. Not true about bounties. Who will you collect from? Propaganda from Stephen Miller. Don't know who he is, right? But yeah, Donald Trump is just the first. After him, whoever, if there's someone after him, they have a big cleanup job to do. What proof of the bounties? What is the bounty? Oh, the bounties. They've been talking about it. They've been saying that the cartels have put bounties on what's called the ICE. That could be propaganda too. I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing, but they're not going to take any chance of that. You don't play with any cartels. They're not taking any chance of that right now. Right? Right now, they are what? They arrested the president of Venezuela. He's locked up. The reason they lock him up because they accuse him of helping the cartels. And it's kind of funny that no one's talking about that. Right? No one's talking about that story. These are all linked. Everything what's going on is linked. They're moving very swift. Just 2 days ago, or maybe 2 days ago, they arrested the Canadian ex-Olympic snowboarder drug kingpin, and they accuse him of bringing a lot of drugs into America. Right? They accuse that guy, but working with the cartels. Did ICE go for him? No, it was the FBI. It wasn't the ICE. They know what they are, the police, by a bandage and in English identifiers mean, right? Who is they? They said Trump's administration, all BS. It could be a BS or whatever, but that's what they're saying. That's why they're wearing the mask. And now they have to wear the mask. There's no going back. Now they have to wear the mask because if they don't wear the mask, they're gonna be a victim. They're gonna be. You have to wear the mask. There's no. They're the most villainized. What's called law enforcement. Whatever they're doing, they can. They cannot go back. They have to wear the mask. There's no going back from it now. So people, even if you don't agree with these guys wearing a mask and what they're doing, they have to wear the mask. I want to know how much they're getting paid. How much money are they getting for this? Roll on Trump. Yeah, how much money is these ICE agents each getting? Because the money what they're getting could be giving them the fuel to do what they're doing, right? How much money are ICE agents making? Let's look this up, right? How much money ICE agents make? The immigration custom officers, right? 127K, like a doctor. Says Trump's administration promises 50K signing bonus in the campaign to hire a ICE agent. And someone's saying 127K on top of it. You just say on top, you get a bonus. Damn, you're making a year. That's that. Okay, that's will make them really work hard, right? That'll really make them work hard. You're getting 127K plus a bonus, probably. Where that's why you see this celebrity, washed up celebrity who played Superman, saying that he wants to be an ICE agent. So the agency responsible for carrying out U.S. President Donald Trump's mass deportation is launching a recruitment campaign to entice brave and and heroic Americans to serve as the new deportation officers, lawyers, and investigators as the government gears up for major expansion of immigration enforcement thanks to the recent infusion of money from Congress. So Congress put the money through, right? The icing on the cake, a promise up to 50,000 US in a signing bonus. The US Immigration and Custom Enforcement campaign, which rolled out late Tuesday, recalls recruiting posters from the Second World War with images of Uncle Sam and the words America needs you. There are also photos of Trump and what? Top Homeland Security officers with words defend the homeland, defend the homeland. So these guys are getting some money. They get more money than New York police officers. So I heard some officers quit their jobs to become ICE agents, right? 77,210, while experienced special agents can earn up to, okay, so they're making some money. And maybe they don't tax them as much. They're making some money. They have some deals, a bonus. They're getting money. So this is what added to it. So it's pretty good for a lot of these guys getting over 100,000. Guys who never seen that money before are getting over 100,000 with the signing bonus, $167,603. They're making money. They're making money. So this is what's making them do whatever they want to do. And there's probably other things we don't know when they sign up for this shit. The campaign is so bad they are now spending additional $8 million to convince influencers to recruit their fans. That's bad. The trick, the trick there is up to that amount. Either way, they're getting paid. They're getting paid. They're getting paid to have weapons. They're getting paid to be like against above the law. Some may think they're getting paid money, right? They're getting paid dollars. Doesn't help that they're getting that much now, and a bonus. So what you gonna do when the ice comes for you? What you gonna do when the ice comes for you? Because they're not just coming for illegals anymore. It's something else. It's transformed into something else. So stay out of the streets. Stay out of the streets. Stay out of the situation, right? If you don't need to be in the streets, stay out of it. It's bad that this young man lost his life, and right or wrong, Donald Trump is using this as an example. The government of Donald Trump is using this as an example. If you come out and you go to a protest and you think you're going to have a weapon with you, and you're putting yourself in danger, so do not come out. Ha ha ha. Why U.S. society is going to hell? Money is their god now. Yep, money is the god. Money is the god. I agree, right? In God they trust. But yeah, don't go out to no protest if you're an American citizen and you care about your life. Just think being a slave to a corrupt government is the right thing. Everybody's, you know what? Sorry to say, but as, everybody's a slave in a way, no matter what. You got to pay your taxes. There's different definitions of slaves. Some people think if you work, you're a slave. That's why there's gangsters who don't work legitly and they're getting money, right? And they laugh at people who actually go out there and work in the system and have to pay taxes, right? Real gangsters don't pay taxes. Host telling people the boot leather is a flavor profile. So he uses the quote from a live movie. Host. Now, see why go suck your mother if you don't know what that means. Yeah. So avoid the protest, people. It's not your fight. It's not your fight. But now there's another fight, a new fight. People are going to be fighting the government because of American citizens getting uh, killed. And there's going to be big arguments about this, right? Never heard of the French Revolution, never heard of the American Revolution, never heard of the Cuban Revolution. You're putting that out. Bless up, Skits Beats, right? A lot of people are going to be fighting over this for months, days. Like I said, it will change if the agents themselves are starting to get hurt. That's what's going to happen. Bro would have drinking tea with the British like it's not. Listen, the main thing, I think people are confused. The main reason people are protesting is because the American has bust a whole bunch of people doing fraud in Minneapolis, and Trump has frozen visas and put the ice out to deport thousands of people who are temporary in the country. And doesn't help. There was daycare fraud, what was frauding billions or millions out of America from Americans, right? That does not help. And then you have a lady who's in politics in Minnesota and married her brother, and they're saying she has a bank account of millions, and Americans want to know how she has that money. A lot of Americans want to know, where did she get that money from? Tell me if they didn't stop that scam. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me they didn't stop a scam. What was going on? Yes, they stopped the scam. They have stopped the scam. So what's helping is this for these ICE agents now. Infusion of money. All of this is made possible by big infusion of money to ICE. The package of a tax breaks and spending cuts Trump signed into law this month includes about 170 billion US for border security and immigration enforcement spread out over the next 5 years. ICE is set to get 700 wait no not 700 76.5 billion US, nearly 10 times its current annual budget. Some 45 billion will go toward increasing detention capacity. What? Cap- Detention camps basically. Nearly 30 billion is for hiring 10,000 more staff so the agency can meet its goal of 1 million annual deportations. Damn. They want to deport a lot of people, yo. 1 million annually deportations. So all this money is going to deport a lot of people. So just say in the next 3 years, 3 million people, maybe 4 million people, Trump hopes to deport. New hires include deportation offices responsible for tracking down, arresting, and removing people who the administration determines no longer have the right to remain in the United States. Right? Right? So the ICE, they're getting a lot of money. ICE is getting a lot of money. Icemen, I call them the Icemen, right? Yes, this is the US, not utopia. Catwalk is in here, you're right. So, what's this called again? They're getting incentive, these guys, the Icemen. They're getting an incentive, right? Okay, so let's see. On the recruitment webpage, the link to learn more about applying to be a deportation officer shows a photo of a armored vehicle rolling down the street with officers in military gear hanging onto the sides of the vehicle. The government is also seeking criminal investigators and lawyers who will prosecute immigration cases. Damn, they're working overtime, right? They're working overtime. Catwalks sound treacherous. Treacherous. Well, they're working overtime right now. They're getting paid good. These guys. They're getting paid a lot. Rush to recruit. So wait, let's see what else. There's more. There's more. There's more. Those staffing numbers remain largely static over the years, even as the caseloads balloon. During Biden's administration, when the number of people arriving at the US Mexico border skyrocketed, ICE workers were often pulled from their regular duties to go to the border. So maybe they weren't getting paid as much when Biden was in charge, right? And they're kind of happy now that there's somebody in charge giving them more attention and money. ICE does need more employees to handle the volume of what they're handling, Hauser said, but he's concerned about whether the rush to increase staffing could mean lower standards for recruits and training. Okay, let me read that again. That can make sense. But the concerns is about whether the rush to increase staffing could mean lower standards for the recruits and training. So maybe that's what we're seeing. That's what we're probably seeing right now. You're seeing that. I don't know if it'll be the same in other cities, but that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing that. At the same time, well, let's see what he's saying. Let's see if they start waiving the requirements. Okay, so the border patrol's rapidly expansion during the early 2000s served as a cautionary tale to meet hiring goals. Training and hiring standards were changed. Arrests for employees' misconduct rose. That was before. That was when Biden was around. Is this going to happen now? Right? If they start waiving requirements there like they did for Border Patrol, you're going to have exponential increase in officers that are shown the door after 3 years because there's some issues, he said. At the same time, Hauser noted the Department of Homeland Security has dismantled some of the key agencies that had provided some level of oversight over ICE and other DHS arms. So they had agencies that were watching over ICE before, basically training them probably better. And they lost that. So that's why you're seeing a lot of this shit going on. He estimated it would take 3 to 4 years to actually hire and train that number of new ICE employees. In the meantime, he worries ICE will rely on private contractors, National Guard troops, and other federal law enforcement officers to meet the administration goal 3,000 arrests a day. So you hear that? I got to read that over. That's why a lot of this shit is happening. That's why a lot of this stuff is going on. This guy estimated it would take 3 to 4 years to actually hire and train number of new ICE employees. In the meantime, he worries ICE will rely on private contractors and National Guard troops. So that's why Trump's been hiring a lot, but they're not trained properly. So when you see ICE, be very scared. When you see ICE, be very scared because a lot of these guys are getting paid, and a lot of them have not been trained properly. Right? Some may be trained, but there's a big percentage that haven't been trained because, especially if they've been hiring a lot of these guys constantly, a lot of them have not been trained properly. So that's why you're getting these guys going out doing what they're doing, and they're like public enemy number one right now. But some people are saying ice, ice, baby. People are supporting the ice. They don't care, right? They're supporting the ice. And people want to know what's next. Who loves America? I bet Eric Prince is behind the contractors. Paul, are you Antifa? Mm. Holy National Guard. That was an important part what I read. Basically, it's an excuse, like what I was saying. If these guys, it's like they're setting it up. They're setting it up for people to complain, right? And accuse them of, not having these ICE trained so they could bring out the National Guard. You want the National Guard instead? They will make a curfew that you can't even be out probably at a certain time. So that's what's crazy. And these guys are getting paid. They're getting paid a lot of money compared to other American law enforcement, right? They're getting bonuses. And what doesn't help, because they're encouraging these guys kind of with what's going on, right? 50K bonus. 50K bonus. Now, if you don't see any court case or any investigation, well, the first unalive from that lady, Miss Good, um, we're not hearing anything about that. We're not hearing anything about that. So, are we going to hear anything about this case in regards to the individual who was unalived recently by ICE? There might be another one. Martial law and civil war. Yes. Martial talk. Yes. Go ask them British from who they purchased Canada. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but yeah, martial law and civil war talk. Yes. Trump wants a distraction from what he's doing around the world. This is part of it. He's willing to sacrifice Americans' lives for for what he's doing around the world, right? He's willing to sacrifice that 100%. So these guys are getting money, right? And if you are an American citizen, like I said, over and over and over and over, don't go out to these protests, please. Don't go out to these protests. Stay safe. Stay safe. The U.S. military couldn't handle an insurrection of Fallujah. How do you think ICE will do? I don't know. Trump is doing great things around the world. Trump and, and 8 wars, and Iranian people want his help in Dover's, Switzerland. They're willing to learn and let Trump lead. Let's see. Let's see what happens. It's American dollars he's using for the military, right? You guys are paying for all these things he's doing all around the world, including the ICE out in the street. Mr. Trump is making you guys pay for a lot of it. Pay for a lot of it. And I knew this would happen. I knew something would happen, that somebody else was going to get hurt from this whole campaign with the ICE out in the streets. I knew this would happen. I will be poetic justice for those who are rooting this thing on talking about Ice Ice Baby. They end up on the ice block, and then it will be something to laugh at. Woo! Now, in regards to a other thing, like What's the Dirt, who I know was on here, another content maker, Drake calling his album Ice. I feel that he should not call it Iceman, right? Right now, it's not looking good. And I said this in another episode, a music episode. Drake having that name, the Iceman album, but I think he should scrap it. Don't come out with an album now, because, and especially you're Canadian, Drake. For you coming out, even though you might say it has nothing to do with what's going on in America, you coming out with an Iceman album is really not a good look. So he should not come out with that shit right now, Iceman, because everybody's just gonna criticize it and tear it apart in relation to these ICE agents in America that a lot of people are hating, and now people are accusing of murder. So I like, for Drake, if you're listening down the line, maybe, like I said, wait to come out with an album, because they're gonna associate you with the ice, right? But yeah, people, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Paul Warner, the guy was shot because he was stupid and didn't comply. That's what I've been hearing. I hear he was tussling, and he went to a protest, what is aggressive against the government. And he, even if he had a legal gun, um, these guys are hungry for blood. And guess what? He got shot. The economy and the inflation is high all across North America. You're right. If you look at the video, you can see that you are an absolute, okay. I seen the video. Okay, so Paul is scared. You're saying Paul is scared. Yo, you guys could go back and forth, but like I'm saying, the main thing, do not, if you're American citizen and you don't want to be hurt, don't go do these protests, because these protests really have nothing to do with you. If you're American citizen, it has nothing to do with you, people. Don't go out. I agree. Remove the name Great Foresight. Don't go out there. Fearful people tell lies to make them feel better. But like I said, don't go out in the street, because Donald Trump is going to bring the heat, right? With the ice. It's Paul Warner. Respect to Paul Warner. If you wasn't so blind, you could see that the officer disarmed the criminal and said, gun, gun, gun. In a split second, the other officer reacted to the warning. Facts. Sorry, man. Like, even if it's a legal gun, just look at the atmosphere. People are protesting, throwing stuff at the officers, probably spitting at the officers, threatening the officers. And then a guy is out there with them. And even if it's a legal gun, he's not complying with the law enforcement. And then they end up killing him, right? They end up killing him. Did he not have a gun with him? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they making up stories? Gun was already taken from him before the shooting. Watch the. Oh, okay, so you're saying the gun was taken from him, right? That's not a reason to shoot him. Okay, that's not a reason to shoot him. Well, you see this stuff, what's going on? It's making a lot of separation. The main plot of this whole thing is making a lot of separation in America. It's making a lot of people fearful of the government. It's going to make a lot of people even protest even more, even though they're putting out an example. And then it's going to give an excuse for Donald Trump to put out the national security. And then it'll give Donald Trump an excuse to have this thing called martial law, that he'll give you guys a curfew. Any city that's revolting or doing all these protests, right? So good luck, right? Good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck, people. These guys are getting paid. A license to kill, they think in their head, good or bad. A license to kill. That's what they think, good or bad. But yo, please subscribe, like, and comment all that good stuff to the Down to Earth Network. The Down to Earth Network is on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on iHeartRadio. We got many topics like this. Black History Month is coming up, so I will definitely be talking about um, certain characters in history, um, different subjects, but this is going to continue. Guarantee 100% this will continue. Um, War of words going to go back and forth. Accusations of is going to go back and forth. People are going to try to analyze the video. It's going to go back and forth. There's going to be conspiracy theories going back and forth, and Trump doesn't care, right? That's all I got to say. Donald Trump does not care. But yeah, thank you guys for joining the Down to Earth Network, the Down to Earth podcast with your host, Sean Myrie. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I will be back, maybe tomorrow, but I'm out.